All right, amazing hackers. Welcome. First of all, going to move my face a little bit. Let's put it over here. So that way you still have my face on it, but also Uncle Rat. Now, I'm starting the stream maybe a few seconds early. Sorry about that. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're doing well today, amazing hackers. I'm so glad to see you in the stream today. We're going to have a little bit of fun because I'm building some labs, and in between, I thought why not talk to you guys a little bit about how this process works and maybe share some source code with you, but also talk a little bit about other things. Maybe I want to talk a little bit about how I got my first huge bounty. That sounds like a plan, I think, right? It's because a lot of people have been asking me about that because my first big bounty was actually my first bounty, and it was 750 euros. I think that was a decent amount. It was cross-site scripting, and I was hunting like I usually do. I put my cross-site scripting attack factor into every single input field that I see, and in that instance, I also put like a XSS hunter. I think it's like. Let me quickly verify. So XSS Hunter is like, I think, yep, XSS Hunter. You can host it yourself as well, and what it does is it gives you a bunch of payloads, and those payloads, if you enter them into a field, they might give you a callback, and that callback might be a blind cross-site scripting. It is a blind cross-site scripting. It's going to contain some issues in there, some things in there, probably like the session token, and that's going to point you to some serious issues, because if you have that session token, of course you can do an account takeover. That's not something that we want to have. That's obvious. But besides that, that's how I found my first cross-site scripting. What I did was I went in and I put it into every single input field that I found. And in that input field, in the first one that I found nothing for like maybe 30-40 minutes. And then I was like, oh, this is a cool feature. I haven't seen this before. And that was very deeply hidden feature, but it was displaying the results of what I put into a table. And if you guys know anything about tables, the headers of the table are often vulnerable to cross-site scripting, and that's where my cross-site scripting fired as well. And of course, that is something like, I was very happy when that happened. I couldn't believe it, but it doesn't happen that often. That only happened to me once, maybe a couple of times. And that's something that I want to emphasize as well, is that these cross-site scripting attacks and these vulnerabilities, the bigger ones, they don't happen as often as you think. Now, a lot of hunters, they might be able to pull them in consistently, but a lot of other hunters who are going to have some more problems. Now, I'm going to quickly close down my PowerPoint because I think my computer is lagging a little bit. Now, what I wanted to do today is I wanted to build some labs as well. And for those labs, I'm going to try and take over this computer. I really want to work a little bit on privilege escalation. So what I want to do is, you guys all know Nano. Nano is a pretty nice program, but the thing with Nano is that it can lead to account takeover, to a privilege escalation in certain situations. If you guys have ever heard about GTFO bins, I'm going to go there right now, GTFO bins, and then you can search up any binary in here. Like in this case, we're going to try Nano, and Nano, if it has the SUID bit set, you can actually become root with Nano, and that's what we're going to try today. So I'm going to Google. First of all, I'm going to need to know, how do I set up a SUID bit. Now the sticky bits, it's not, you have the SUID bit and the SGID bit. What you need to know about those is that if you do set the SUID bit, then you open yourself up to privilege escalation in certain scenarios, and that's of course something that you don't want. So be very careful whenever you do this. Now there's a few ways to do this. I'm looking for a particular way because I want to show you guys something. Let's see. is it this one? Agree. Yep. Just like the normal permissions, the special bit can be assigned with the change mod command using the numeric or UGO/RWX format. In the former case, the SGID and sticky bits are represented respectively by a value of 4, 2, and 1. So, for example, if we want to set the SGID bit on the directory, we would execute change mod and then this number and then on a specific directory test. Now, I don't want to do this under directory, but that doesn't change much. We can also do change mod u plus s, but I want to do this on nano, and nano is just going to be in the /bin folder. If I go /bin/nano, I'm doing the exact same thing. So what I want to do is I want to change mod u plus x on that bin/nano. And then I want to ls list that /bin/nano. And I can see, let's see, how did we recognize that again? As we can see, we have the same structure here. I think that WSR or that RWS is going to be our SUID bit. So now what I need to do is I need to create a lower privileged level user. Of course, I'm a complete noob, so I need to look up how to create a user in Linux. Even the most basic commands are things that I can forget. Oh yeah, of course, user add. So it's user add. Let's call this test user, and then we need to set a password for test. And we'll just call it test as a password, and then we'll need to how do we take over a different account again? As you change account. Was it just sudo as you test? Ls, who am I? Test, okay, excellent. So now as test, we should be able to go to nano, as you can see here. We are in nano right now, and then they say to press the Ctrl R and Ctrl X keys. So let's do that, Ctrl R and then Ctrl X keys, and then the command to execute would be this one. So let's paste that in, and now you can see some glitchy text on the screen. So let's clear that quick. And now let's see, who am I? Test still. So this definitely didn't work. I wasn't able to take over my root in this way. So that means that there's something else going on. Let's try and actually create a file in this way. So we're going to exit this prompt. That's just going to bring us back into nano. No, and then we're going to exit this prompt, and then we're root again. And as a root, we want to create a file that we don't want to have readable by the test user. So I want to create a file nano/root/test.txt, and let's just put some gibberish in here. Now let's say I want to actually try and go back to my test user. So sudo su test. Now I actually just want to go nano/root/test.txt. And as you can see, I'm actually entering this folder right now. I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to exit, and let's create a new file as well, but let's call it test2.txt. Let's put some gibberish in here and save it. And then we're going to also try the same thing with that one, and that shouldn't be able to work. So let's try the same thing. only this time it's going to be test2.txt, and it did work. So that's definitely not supposed to happen. Something's wrong with the writes on that root folder. Let's see what's happening there. ls.l the /root folder. Okay, so as you can see, everybody has read writes to this. That just means that I need to stop people from reading this. So just Google remove read writes from file. Yeah, I'm really not good with file permissions. Let's see. Okay, so I need to change mod a minus r. Is that even a thing? Of course, I need to enter the file /root/test.txt. There we go. Then let's do that same thing again. And now we can see that the read writes are gone, even for me. So even if I cut test2.txt, sorry, test/root/test.txt. In this case, I can enter it because I am root, but nobody else should be able to do it for test.txt because they just don't have any read writes anymore. Test2 is freely accessible. So let's now enter back to that low-level user that we had before. Su test, there we go. And now let's try the same thing. Let's try it first with cat /root/text.txt. Ooh. That's not supposed to happen. cat/root/test.txt. Permissions denied. Let's try the same thing with nano/root/test.txt. And I can actually enter the file. So that is not good, of course. This is bad. And this is exactly the behavior that I wanted to build for my labs, and I wanted to practice this a little bit, is those user writes. They are completely messed up on this folder, not because of actually messing up the writes themselves, but because Nano has been able to do things that it's not supposed to be able to do. That's never a good thing. Anyway, how are you guys this evening? I hope you're all doing fine. Let me check out the chat real quick. Oh wow, 9 viewers. That's not expected. Hello, amazing hackers. Good to see you here. Can we try this with Nox? Yes, definitely. I love Nox. Nox is one of my favorite tools right now that I use quite a lot. Now, what a lot of people do wrong is they think that Nox can actually find any vulnerability just for them, like, yep, there we go, there's the vulnerability. And it does have some useful features. I'm not going to be the one claiming, no, that's not useful. Now, what you want to do is you want to install the browser plugin and you want to test your application as you're browsing it, because that's going to allow you to easily authenticately browse your application, pick up some things. But then you also want to go and you want to look at every single parameter that you can find, and you want to feed it to Nox. You want to feed it to CLI, or as in this case, the web interface. And that way you're going to find a lot more, because you're actually going to, what it's about now is you're going to look for things that have reflection in them automatically, and then that reflection is going to be fed into Nox. And then while Nox is working, I'm going to try and do my own thing as well, of course, because an automated scanner can never catch everything. There's just too many complex use cases, and especially inside cross-site scripting. So it's definitely a good idea to use Nox for this. But great work. Thank you very much, my friend. You did join. Mr. Travis Wilcox said he wouldn't join this evening, but he did join, and I'm very grateful to him for that. Cheers, my friend. Yes, Priv asked through Nano. And as you can see, it's easy to forget all of them, but I can just go to GTF Omens, and here I can just see what's available. As you can see, shown through. You can even do that through CP, of course, because if I set that SUID bit to CP, let's do the same thing here. So let's try and copy files, shall we? Now to do that, I first need to set that same SUID bit that I set before. But there it is. But I need to do it to copy. Okay, so now I should be able to use copy to access that file. As you can see here, I need to assign a variable first. Of course, file to reach, it's entering, well, it shouldn't enter. So file should be /root /test.txt, right? That's the variable. Then we copy that variable to standard out. And I'm reading that file while I shouldn't be reading that file. It's really cool how you can easily privilege to several ways. And there's more. There's things like a privileged application running through cron job that takes user input, for example. That's also a privileged way that we can do. Outdated software running on the server. I can try and see if I can have a kernel exploit or something like that. There's a big possibility, a range of possibilities actually. So yeah, definitely something that is also interesting to me, and something that I had to learn a lot about when I went through OSCP, of course. Let's see, sudo su account. Yeah, thanks a lot, my friend. I'm an idiot. Sometimes I forget the most basic accounts. I am doing very well today. Thank you very much for asking. I am feeling hyped, and I've had a amazing day. I've had a wonderful day. Really, like, I've had a conversation with a company that I can't tell you guys too much about yet, but we're going to probably work together. I hope that we can work together because they were some really nice people, and I've actually been able to get a new article up and running that I'm typing out right now. It's called five ways how hackers steal your money. So if you guys are interested for that, you should keep an eye on Honeypot and my Twitter account, of course. And I got my work cut out for me, and that's when I'm happiest, because if I have nothing to do, then I'm not happy. If I can just lay in the couch and be bored all day, that's not my kind of thing. I don't like to be bored. I like to be able to work hard, and I like to be able to improve myself. That's what all of this has been about for me. It's just being happy and being able to improve myself, going through cycles of repetition where I will find issues with my own methodology and then try to change them and apply it again and again and again and again. And that's how I went from where I was about a year ago, about a year and a half ago, to right now. Back then I didn't know I didn't know anything about hacking. I have to be careful about swearing because YouTube really doesn't like that for some reason. I wonder why. It can be used to break out from restricted environments by spawning an interactive shell. What do you want to do is escalate to root. Sorry, can you explain that a little bit? Because I already forgot what I was doing. My memory is not that great. Cheers to you guys. Thanks a lot for being here. Hello, Thailand. Thank you so much for being here. Thailand, Canada. Guys, who are you representing this evening? Show me in the chat, who do you represent? Belgium represent here. For me, of course, Belgium represent. Who else is represent here? You guys want to share me something? Thailand, of course, or Canada. Now, let me share you guys. Do you want to hear the story of how I found my first critical vulnerability, or do you want to hear the story of how I found my first critical vulnerability that actually wasn't a crit and that got denied, that I fought heavily for? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to see if there's any questions that have been asked. Let's see here. Da, da, da. Oh. Okay, right. I left out like a link to a new challenge recently. Well, you might have already seen it, but the challenge is pretty easy. It's default credentials. Test. That's the basically you always have to try weak credentials, and I know it's annoying, and I know it's boring to keep on testing the same thing. Test, admin, test, admin, administrator. I know it's boring, but automate that stuff. That is what automation is for. Automation, my friends, is not for running through your application for you. No, that's the stuff that automation is for. So yeah, definitely automate that stuff if you can. So any questions besides that? Let's see. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat as well. I don't mind if you make a profit. Oh, right, that's for the shirts. Oh, I really don't want to make a profit on the shirts. Anything else, you give me your money, but no, I'm just kidding. Oh my god, that's gonna get drawn so out of context. Let's see here. What is my first pet's name? My first pet's name? That's a good one, John. That's something that actually I've been able to do quite a lot. That's easy phishing. Like, oh, hey, you have a forgotten password. What's Just chat them up a little bit, talk to them, and see if you can't find that password. If you can't find that answer to the question, all you have to do is be nice often. So great question, John. Let's see, any other questions? I thought we had one, but nah. Nah, Uncle says nah. You put yourself and your knowledge out here for us. Really appreciate we all do. I would like to hear both if you have time. Of course. Thank you very much for asking. I love talking about myself. My ego is about as big as it can be. So why not, right? First of all, while I do that, I'm going to show you guys. Maybe you guys are interested in this. Recently, at least recently, I say today, I was contacted by the company making broken crystals, and broken crystals is like a vulnerable application, and they make Neurolegion. And at least Neurolegion is a really interesting scanner, and you can join for free. So don't hesitate to just try it and just go to, I think you just have to go to neurolegion.com and exploit Neurolegion. Doesn't really matter. Going to show you guys Neurolegion right now, so because that's where you sign up. So you go to Neurolegion, and I'm going to drop this in the chat as well, because I am going to drop the 6 beats tonight. No, just kidding. Holy crap. So there we go. And in Neurolegion, what I did was you sign up, and you can get a free account, and it's like 10 scan hours a month, I think. And I've scanned my application, and I'm still scanning my application thoroughly at the moment. That's why it might be a little bit slow, but the thing is, it is really good vulnerable application. Let's see, did I click the right account? I did. So you can see that I am actually scanning my own network here, my own applications. That's not like this. That's what I wanted to show you. You can actually see, okay, I was scanning my applications, and I can see what's going on with the results. Now, I made a little bit of a mistake when I was scanning this time, but you can see some more vulnerabilities in here. Like in here, issues, reflective cross-site scripting, brute force login. These are some really good scan results in my opinion. And I'm hosting my scanner locally, as you can see here. The thing is, I've made some mistakes, as you can see, so I get a lot of errors at the moment. I'll run a new scan later on, but I really like it. It's really good, and why not, right? Why not just try it if you're hacking, if you're bug bounty hunting? Now, what I wanted to talk about more is let's talk a little bit about um, how I got my first critical vulnerability, because that's a short story. I was doing broad scope hunting, and I was doing what I always do, subdomain enumeration. And then as I was doing that, I did HTTP probe. Then I took screenshots of the subdomains, and I saw a login portal. Now, when I see login portal, I almost automatically assume directory brute forcing. So that's what I did, and I found well, actually content discovery, I should say, because I was looking for pages as well. I was looking for search.php, for example. And search.php was not protected by the login page, whereas all the other applications, they actually were. Which is strange enough in and of itself, but that didn't constitute a vulnerability in and of itself. Of course, a search page, sorry about that noise, it's just a search page. Now, what we had there though was I could search for things, but I was like, how am I going to search? What search terms am I going to use? Because it was French. That whole application was French. So I was like, okay, maybe their data is French as well. And I was like, okay, not person, but personnel. And personnel gave me a few hits, and that was immediately critical, because that was like those hits contained the records of a lot of people, and a lot of data was in there. I also found some internal data besides that, but I had to stop searching after that, of course, because that was already bad enough, and I wasn't going to find anything else that was going to make me report any other vulnerabilities. That's how I found my first crit. It was on a vulnerability disclosure program, but they actually paid me $125. So don't fret if you're on a vulnerability disclosure program. They might still pay you out bonuses. So, besides all of that, there's also this one time when I was hunting with a good friend of mine at the time, and he gave me the direction, because you could enter your email address and they would send you a login link. And he was like, let's, instead of just sending one email address, paste a second email address after the first one. And that generated a link for the first email address, but send it to the second email address, which was terrible, of course. The only thing was, it took me ages to explain to the triager what was going on. Literally 17, 18 comments. I had video proof, 3 separate filmings of different video proofs for that vulnerability, and still he wouldn't believe me. In the end, he ended up believing me. He said, can you please open up a new ticket? And while I was closing up the old one and opening up a new one, they fixed the vulnerability. And that was a big issue for me, of course, because I didn't find any money. I couldn't get anything from them, which was terrible. I didn't like that. I was really pissed off. I, I'm saying I, but actually he came up with a brilliant idea. He deserved to get money for that, and I was really pissed off that he didn't get what he deserved. It's it's not good that bug bounty hunters don't get what they deserve. We work very, very hard for the things we do, and if we do find a vulnerability, like being able to forge a JWT token, that should be considered pretty bad and should be looked at, in my opinion, as a very serious issue, not something that you're going to toy with. So yeah, that those are the two stories I had about that. I don't know if you guys found that interesting. Um, let's see. What street did I grow up in? St. Elmer Street. Let's see. No, no, that's not true, by the way. Yo, Uncle Rat, I love that hacktivist interview with the founder of GhostSec. Is there any chance they'll be in another interview? Also, your videos are very informative. Thank you very much, my friend. If you want, I can of course bring him in. I think he would like that. Maybe I can ask him, of course. I cannot guarantee that, but if he would like that, I would definitely like to bring him in. No problem at all. Will my ethical hacking course be released on time? Definitely. So as you can see in here, these are all of the topics that I'm still working on. Everything that's in blue is done. So you have something that's still ongoing, you have some still open topics. And there's also some links to the articles on it. And then there's also some video links. Now, as for the video recordings, it's going to take me a few days. But I still have to do quite a lot of these, you might think. But a lot of these are already done. I just have to format them and order them properly. So that's left on that part of the application. For this part, you could see that on tools, a lot of these things is still left. But some of these things are not really my forte, like Windows privilege escalation. I suck at it. I'm not going to tell lies. That is just something I am terrible at. So that's something I let Sharonan do on his own. For the other topics, you will probably have Sharonan and me cover it quite a lot. And possibly also Phil Wiley. So that's something that might still come after the release or before the release. That's something that I can't really detail on right now because I just don't know about it. But I will definitely be done with it in time, and I hope I can bring you guys some excellent experiences with it. As you can see, I'm trying to go extremely deep into what's being ethical and also how to use that course that I'm building right here. That's something that's very important. I'm not just going to drop a course on you that's not worth anything. I want you to get the value that I'm asking from this course. And I know that is definitely not something easy to do. But what I tend to do is I tend to do the articles, the videos, the labs, the quizzes. Everything is going to be a combination and the next steps. That's also very important to me, that I put you guys onto some next steps and an actionable hunting plan or an actionable hacking plan for your pen testing, whichever you're going for. So I hope that answered your question. Thanks a lot for asking me. Great question. It did find credentials for the labs. Yes, it did. Oh no, my labs, they're hacked. How are we ever going to solve this? I have no idea. That's so terrible. Hello, Mr. Prototype. Hope you're doing well, and Mr. Green Monk as well. So, for that's it about that part a little bit. I also wanted to build some more labs for some other occasions. As you can see right here, if we go back a step, you guys can build along if you want. I'm not going to. What I want to do is I'm going to bring you guys from the laboratory to the real world, but I want to do it in small incremental steps. So what we have is we have a csref folder in here. If I list the contents, you'll see that I have some hacking challenges in here already. Now, these are the basic hacking challenges. Now, I want to start the more advanced, but these are intermediate, so I'll mark them with an I. Let's copy 0.php because that one is not vulnerable to CS. You know what? I'm actually going to copy 10.php because what I want to do is to a I. Well, let's copy it I.10.php. Let's do 20. I'll give you guys the reason why as well. 10 automatically solves itself, so that's not very fun. And then I can go and I can go to 20.php right here. Now I have a form right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it. Remove the token. So this is the say hi form. We also have the change email form. And I'll tell you guys what we're doing in a bit. Do you want to change your email address? And then of course you can have a let's put a repeat email here. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing, but this one, we're not going to put this label in. We're just going to put the label in log out. Well, actually, we can do it much easier. There we go. Now, my question is going to be, yes, you're already seeing this coming. H1, which of these forms has an issue with the CSRF token? Now, you guys probably saw this one coming already, because what I want you to do is in this one, in this laboratory, I want people to actually provide or see the value what's going wrong? I'm only seeing one form. Well, there's a few bugs in here, of course. I need to point this to I20, but that's not the problem. Let's view the page source to see if we can find anything more. So, we are on the right challenge page, but it's not taking the right form because we are well, I'm an idiot. So what I need to do now is I need to copy 20.php to I20.php. I need to remove 20.php. I need to copy I20.php to 20.php. I need to remove I20.php and I need to copy, well, actually move I20.php to I20.php. That's going to bring us a lot more. There we go. I was changing 20.php now. That's not very smart of me, is it? Much better. Now, which one of these forms should have a CSRF token is, of course, this one, to change my email address. That should always have a CSRF token, because if I can change your email address, I can change it to mine, and I can take over your account fully. It's important to realize this, that the other two don't really need a CSRF token. These don't really do anything. As you can see, it's just going to, this one is literally not doing anything, and neither is the logout button. So we shouldn't be too worried about this. It's just there. But the change email, that's going to be a bigger problem, because if I can't change your email, then we're in deep, well, that's not YouTube friendly. So yeah, that's building another challenge. For the next one, what I want to do is, first of all, drink my coffee. So that's been accomplished. Now I want to build a lab completely. What I want to do is I want to make my labs better, because I still don't have, by the way, if you want this code, let me quickly grab it. Nano I20.php, or let's just cut it. CSRF. There we go. Let's throw that in a chest. Labs. There we go. And now you guys can run this code yourself as well if you would like. I'm going to grab, I think you can just grab this URL and I can put it in the live stream. There we go. Done. How can I separate my time equally between learning new techniques or vulnerabilities and bug hunting or applying my knowledge? Or what duration do you suggest each of them should take daily? Well, first of all, I think switching tasks is always a good thing for a while, because after a while, after you're done, completely done learning, you really want to switch context. You don't want to force yourself to study for 6 hours, because then you're going to hate studying. What you want to do is you want to study a little bit and then you want to see if you can apply it. And that's annoying, but at some point you're going to say, no more studying for today. Today I'm going to work. That work is going to be your bug bounty hunting. That's going to be how you hunt. And that's going to be when you actually apply what you have learned. You're going to try and apply your knowledge at that point. And at that point, you really need to say, not gonna learn for now, just gonna try to apply. And while I try to apply, I will learn. Because I think anything that you do will need experience in life. I'm talking about, if you really want to be a bug hunter, you're going to need to have that experience from your lessons, of course, but then you're also going to have to apply it and see what works and what doesn't. That's very important. You really need to you really need to test your hypothesis against a proven target. So sometimes it's hard. I know it's not always easy to know when you should be switching to be hunting between hunting and actually trying to learn. But this is also learning. I'm having fun. I'm creating some new laboratories, and in the meantime, I'm also entertaining you guys, I hope. Aren't I a good rat? So that's it for this challenge. Let's build a different cross-site scripting challenge, shall we? Because we are already doing this for CSRF. Now let's go to CD reflected cross-site scripting post. And here we can see the same thing. We can see 0.php, 10.php, and solutions.txt. Now, what I want to do here is I have 10.php already. I'm just going to copy 10.php because it's already going to contain some filters probably, and I'm going to copy it to 20.php. Then I'm going to see in 20.php what's going on. And then here, if it's at post, so in 10 there's just going to be a vulnerability. There's no filters in there, literally. So what you need to do right then and there is you're going to need to, what I'm going to want to do here is I'm going to want to be a bit sneakier. So first of all, I'm going to need to call 20.php. Now I'm going to put a hidden input field in here. And I'm just going to make the name, say, let's call it hidden as well, id equals hidden. And the value, let's keep it at test. So then I need to make this input field hidden. And I don't want to echo this one. I need to echo the hidden field. And the thing is, I don't want to echo it too loudly, of course. I don't want anybody to see it. So what I'm going to do is, shall we put a div that's hidden? Like, how shall we put this? Let's put it. Can we put it in comments? What was the HTML comment format again? Like this, like this. I think like this, right? What was it? Was it period and PHP? I think so, right? To merge strings together. We'll see if it's not. So let's go back to the post for the RxS challenges. doesn't even recognize me going to post. I don't go that often to post yet. So as you can see, I'm sending my greetings. Doesn't appear to be doing anything. Now let's inspect the source code real quick, because I'm going to insert some gibberish in here, and I'm going to actually copy that gibberish. Now why am I going to do that? Because I want to search it, and it doesn't seem to be in here. So it doesn't seem like it's displaying it. That's because it's displaying test in here. It's displaying the value of my hidden field. So in this case, I'm first of all going to see that I have a hidden field in here. Then I'm going to need to change its value, like I'm doing right now, send my greetings and search again. And then I can see that I do have a reflection. Now, for the value, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut off my HTML comment, actually put in a script alert / script, and I'm going to see if this payload works. Apparently it does. I'm a genius. I can solve my own challenges. Woohoo! Woohoo! Go me. So I think we should post this on Twitter so everybody can join along and hopefully have fun as well. So free labs alert. Can you pop this post? Success. And they say that I don't know my XSS. Well, to be honest, I don't really know my XSS that well. You guys know how well I know my XSS. I know it well enough to a degree, but I also know it well enough to know that I don't really know anything. There's just way too much to learn about cross-site scripting, and somebody who does claim that they're an expert at cross-site scripting and have nothing to learn, that's going to be a problem, because they might have some issues, in my opinion. Let's see. So that's that lab. Let's build another one, shall we? Why not, right? Because now we're going to add a small filter to that as well. No, 30.php. What I want to do now is if blah 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 and post. How did you do that in PHP again? PHP string contains. Yep. And string contains. So now I'm just seeing if this string contains the haystack, the needle. What are we going to filter on today, my friends? Let's think of something fun. Let's filter out script. I don't want any scripts in here. So if this and this is true, then I need to do the HTML entities. I need to reflect that. Else we're going to reflect it like we had it before. I should have copied and pasted before. But you guys know me, I'm not the smartest rat. Don't judge me. So HTML entities, let's remove those from this one, and that should bring a very basic filter. I don't know if this was even worth it, 30.php, because if we go to the 30.php for the post / XSS / rxss / post / 30.php, it should have very similar things in there. Only thing is that it will not allow that script tag, so we have to be a little bit more creative, and we're going to have to add in a different tag. So if I do script in here, and then like I did before, going to alert / script, that's not going to work. And I'm going to copy this real quick. I'm going to send my greeting. Oh, of course it did work before, because I forgot to change the form action to 30.php. There we go. That should work a lot better. And for our hidden field, we want this value. And this time it's not working like it's working before. So that's good to know. Now, I don't want to have that script in there anymore. That script is going to bother me. So what I will do is I'll start with an image source equals x, and then on error equals alert. Let's try it like this. Maybe that will bring us some joy, and apparently it does. So that's a very good thing. And that's 30.php. Maybe I should have waited and posted 30.php as well. But it's basically it's not that much harder than 20.php. What else can we think about? Let's block off. I think we should be blocking off maybe the greater than or the less than sign. Maybe that might be a good one to block off. Or maybe we should just add a little bit of CSP to the mix. That would be fun. Uh, since people say I don't know how to use CSP, well, let's keep that separate. I have my own CSP labs. I'll run those later on. We can basically filter this very, very hard. We can, what we could do is we could remove one thing from that string, but remove it only one time, like one pass through. And what we could do for that is, I've done that before, but maybe it's not a good idea in this case. Let me just quickly look through the PHP functions here. Strip slashes, that might be a good one. Maybe we can, yeah, let's do that one. That one is a good one, and that one is a good one. I think you guys will like that. Let's do the copy 30.php into 40.php because this one already has a filter. Then I'm going to see for 40.php so I can adapt it. And if it does contain this is not the check that I want anymore. I want string length, str length. So I only want small tag vectors in this case. So, and string length for that is above, what shall we call it? Let's throw up a quick character counter. So I don't want script alert, I can use that one. So let's do it like this one, and script alert / script. So we have 27 characters there, whereas image source equals x on error equals alert. That's even more characters. Let's see, small XSS tag vectors. This is just the easiest way. Let's look at the cross-site scripting cheat sheet. Let's see if we can find anything very small. Maybe this one. Ooh. Of course, clicking it open is going to load it in. 27 character 35, so we're growing. Good job. Let's find something small. Here, why not? That one is only 25 characters, so if we are a little bit creative with our string greater than 25, then it should do the check. That should work. Let's try and take the stack factor into 40.php. We still didn't change the form this time, so let's change it again. Ooh. There we go. And let's go to 40.php. And in here we should have the attack vector like we saw before. This one should work. It does work. Now if we take that the same attack vector that we had before, make it into something different, like image source equals x, and then on error. As we saw, that was too many characters, so this shouldn't work, and as you see, it doesn't work. So what do you guys think? Do I know XSS filter evasion techniques? Sorry, I had to boast a little bit there. So that's a little bit about how to make challenges. I don't know if you guys have any more questions for me, because I'm having fun. I don't know if you guys are learning, if you guys are enjoying this kind of things, but if you have any questions, just ask me. I'll be happy to answer them. Hello, kick-ass videos. Do your videos really kick ass? I just bought a few weeks ago your Red Pack Bootcamp in order to add security testing to my bag of tricks. Thanks Uncle Red for always sharing excellent content. Thank you so much for the support, and thank you everybody for being here. It's so good to have you, and I'm really glad that so many of you decided to still show up and hang out with me while I drink beer and while I make some labs for you guys. Yes, XSS is very complex. And the thing is, what I've done right now, that is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's make another one real quick, because I want to show you guys some more. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the type of reflection that I have in here. And somebody asked me, why not Vim? I don't like to waste my life. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Let's do it like this. We'll do input value equals. Let's put it like that. Now let's put a single quote in there. And there we go. Is this gonna work? I don't think so. I think I did something wrong with my quoting there. Let's remove this quote real quick. I'm just gonna do it like this, backslash quoting, because that one is escaping a character, so let's do it like that. Apparently not. I think I can pull it off like this. I should be able to, because I'm putting a single quote within a double quote. For some reason my compiler is complaining right here. Well, my compiler, I should be saying nano. But let's just see what this gives, shall we? Let's see how it puts it on the screen. 450.php. Doesn't put anything on the screen. That's excellent. Yay me. I might have broken something. So yeah, it's definitely in here that the problem lays. I'm just gonna remove these single quotes from here. And we will see what happens. Ooh, also have to leave that one there. There we go. Now let's see what's happening. Now I still seem to have some errors, so I might be still doing something wrong with my PHP in here. Yeah. It should be showing my form right now. It's not. It means that something's going wrong in the backend. I'm not displaying any errors. That's why we are having some trouble debugging this issue. What I want to do is I want to put this input as we see it here. I don't want to put it into a like we did before, like just a comment that we had like this, which did work, by the way. I wanted to put it in a different context, so what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do document.write What I might do is I might put some JavaScript in here, and I'm going to quickly cheat. Yeah, you heard me right. I'm going to cheat, going to go to the get, and I think it's in 30, 40, 30. .php. Do we have it in here? Nope, that's not the one. Maybe 20.php. Yeah, I think this one is I think this one is something that we can definitely use. Yep, let's use this one. So I have a basic script in here in which I'm going to write this URL. I have to take all of these into account, so I'm just going to include it like this. I'm just going to copy this over for the post session as well. So it would be like this. This is everything that I need. This is all of my code. This is not formatted properly, by the way, which is why it's a little bit messy. But I'm just going to paste it in here, and I'm going to remove this piece of code. There we go. And this should work if I replace my 40 with my 50. And then I might later on replace the hidden with the hidden field, but yep, it's working now. So let's replace it with hidden. So we at least have a little bit more of a challenge. There we go. And now in that hidden input field, what I have to do, this is going to be a lot harder. Now I'm going to have to break out of the JavaScript. So I'm going to have to enter a double quote in here, which I think is in this case, it would be a backslash double quote. But I might as well give it an HTML entities. Then I'm gonna have to break out of JavaScript, gonna have to end it. And since this value is hidden, that's going to make it a lot harder for this challenge. Everything depends on what context I'm throwing my cross-site scripting tag factors into. And these are just a few contexts, because of course CSS is also a context where cross-site scripting might occur. If you really want to know more about that, there are ways to find out. You can just go into Google and you can look for cross-site scripting contexts. In this case, I've showed you 3. I mostly work with those 3 because those are usually what's going to be found. And I will try to find them using reflection. Now, this whole evening we've been making post calls, and a lot of people think that post cross-site scripting is definitely useless, but I say it's very much not. I think CSRF is a rising bug, and with CSRF on the rise, if the particular field is vulnerable to post to CSRF attacks, then you're actually still having a issue, even though it might be things like self cross-site scripting in this case. Even though it's self cross-site scripting, there's no CSRF token in this case. Now, what does that mean? If I go back to den.php, as you can see, if I go to the right page, of course, as you can see, this was the very easy one. I can just script alert here, or I should be able to script alert. Oh, right. So this is why I'm an idiot. I, of course, have my own, let's see, image. It's not loading. It's redirecting me to ten.php. There's an error in my labs. That's not good. Let's start with the hidden form then. We have a hidden field in here. So I don't have a CSRF token on this particular form in here. So what I could do is I could go to CSRF POC generator, and there is a free one online. You can just go there, security.love, and here we are dealing with a post request. the encoding is going to depend on what kind of request that I'm trying to send. And I can go and look at my console right here at 20.php, and this is going to already allow me to see a lot of the things in here, because as you can see, there's an encoding here, and there's also a content type here, form URL encoded. So that is what we have right here. And we have two fields, the say and the hidden. So that's going to be the parameters. Say is going to be hi and hidden is going to be test. But let's insert our cross-site scripting attack vector in there already automatically. So in this case, we had to break out of the comment on the page, and then we could throw in our script alert /script remember. And then of course I need to fix this. And now you can see that I have a post request with the application /form URL encoded encoding on there with this data that you can see here, and the URI that I need for that is going to be this one. So now I can download my proof of concept that I have right here. I can click it and bam, that was a self cross-site scripting turned into a bad vulnerability. Are you guys enjoying yourselves? Let me ask you one more time, are you enjoying yourselves? Because I hope you're learning as much from me as I have the privilege of learning from you. Again, why not Vim? Because I like to be happy, I like to be fast. Thank you for all your attention, and thank you for joining me. It's really happy that you're here. It's really fun that you're here, I should be saying. I appreciate every single one of you, and just everything that you guys do for me. It's just so much. I can't thank you enough. I hope you guys are enjoying this stream, and I hope you guys are learning some things as well. That's the most important part. That's why I do all of this, and that's why we are building some labs like we're doing right here, where we're switching contexts, where we're doing things with hidden fields, where we're doing things with posts and CSRF proof of concept generators, blah 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 blah. So I hope you guys have learned a lot from today's session. That's all I'm trying to say. Now what I really want to do is I want to continue as well. I want to build some more labs for you guys, but I think I'm going to record a video. I've had some inspiration from this live session, and I really enjoyed it very much. You guys always give me the best inspiration out there. How about I give you a favor, because you guys have given me a favor? Let's go to my email and let's actually review one of your guys' hunting styles, because that's not going to be the correct email. Let's go to my correct email. Is it in 1 or 3? I think 3 that I put people on. Oh no, somebody's trying to hack my account. I'm probably going to need multi-factor authentication for this. No, Google says no. No MFA for you. So, thank God. Let's see. We have Ferret giveaways, drafts, methodologies. So, we have a few people's methodologies, and I'm going to... Yep, there we go. I'm going to blur their names in the final version, of course. Yep. So we have some of you that have sent in some things recently. Didn't seem to want to do it. Your own methodologies of how you seem to hunt. And I want to review some of them, and I have done in the past. And I want to review this one in particular right now, because this was one of the last ones I have left. Hope you're good. Cheers, MK. So your tweet, want to discuss my little methodology. Number 1, select a target. really good that you select a target. That's a good step. I would highly recommend selecting a target. Now, I would highly recommend spending a lot of time selecting that target, of course. I'm mocking you a little bit, but I do it in good spirit, because selecting your target is actually a lot more difficult than most people think. So I appreciate that you put it in a separate step, because if you select a target that's not right for you, that's not fit for you, that has any problems whatsoever, you're going to have problems, and that's the last thing you can use when bug hunting. You really don't want any problems. You want to make things as easy as possible for yourself, and then start learning and increasing that difficulty. So don't pick targets that are like huge bangs. Of course you can in the beginning, but it might not bring you the results that you were expecting. So once you have that, you're going to enumerate the subdomains using NumPy, sublister, and subfinder. Good. Try to use as much subdomain finders as you can. That's usually going to be subdomain enumeration. You can also do subdomain brute forcing, which is going to bring in subdomains that other people don't have if you have a quality word list, but that's something that's going to take a lot more time, and it's definitely not easy either. Look for low-hanging bugs like BLH, rate limit, rare as most programs don't accept, clickjacking. Those are not really good bugs to look for, in my opinion. Start off with CSRF, broken access control, IDOR, business logic. Check for sign up, login, password reset functionality, host header injection mostly. Good that you are actually looking at functions in their own right. Maybe you should look at every single parameter in its own right. Just look at it, see if you can abuse it, see if you can abuse it in different scenarios. So that might be an idea for you. CSRF accepted JSON case, two-factor authentication misconfiguration, and that would be all. So as I said before, IDORs, broken access control, but you need functionality programs for it, business-to-business programs. It's highly advised that you pick those, because it seems like you like broad scope subdomain looking programs, but that's the next step. First learn how to hack, then you can start applying it on a broader scope, in my opinion. But that's just my humble opinion. I'm a rat, so you don't have to listen to me. I'm just a rat, not a police. And even if I was the police, you do you, bro. I'm not gonna tell you how to hunt. Well, I just did, but yeah, let's ignore that. So, so the VPS you want to provide is not working. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to cut the free VPS programs because some people weren't happy that I did that, and they actually messed up the VPSs. So, also of my friend Arclight, his VPS was totally messed up. We decided we weren't gonna start it again, so I'm sorry about that. So that's about it, I think, for today. I'm going to have a little smoke of a cigarette. I would definitely not recommend that you guys smoke. It's bad for your health, bad for your teeth. What I would recommend is that you hack daily, at least a little bit. Just try to find a little bit of motivation to hack at least one thing. And in 365 days, you'll have hacked at least for 365 items. Thank you very, very much for watching, everybody. I am going to spam the chat with red icons real quick, because that's what rats do. We like to throw our image everywhere. You know us. Why are you even surprised? So thank you very, very much for watching, and I hope I will see you in the next one. By the way, all of that confidence is just played confidence, and I'm sure you guys know that. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being with me. I am going to salute you, my friends, and I am going to say rat out. Bye bye.